morning. Good morning, grade 10. As per an update, with regards to your activities and your module, I actually lessened all the activities, as you can see. You have for third quarter, this is actually for the third quarter, you have Q3 module 1 weeks 1 to 4. That is actually a collection from first week until fourth week. So that's whole month. And then the activities are actually lesson there. Okay. What else? Talking about activities, these activities don't have restrictions at all. So you can do it anytime. Okay. That's one way for me to help you out. Okay. I understand the situation. And please, Demetri and Margie, inform your classmates that I will be recording this one and I will be posting this one on the LMS, okay? So that they can access it anytime, right? This is a very important topic because we'll be talking about or we'll be discussing about the human reproductive system. What's the human reproductive system? Male and the female. How important this human reproductive system in the survival of an organism. Survival of an organism, meaning to say the continuation of the generation. Because without this, I don't think so that the continuation of the generation will eventually continue. Okay. What else? Talking about genetics. This is the birth of genetics because you're passing traits from parents to offspring. What else? Diseases associated with the reproductive system, and of course, the functions of this reproductive system. Let's move now, right? Reproduction is the biological process by which new individuals are produced to continue existence of a given species or species. So meaning to say, without this, there is no continuation of the species. Okay? Though different organisms produce or reproduce in different ways, they have one and the same goal. This is to perpetuate one's species on Earth. Okay. Even though we have a lot of technologies evolving now for reproduction, we have asexual reproduction, meaning to say there is we didn't actually use gametes or sperms and eggs in reproducing. But since then, sexual reproduction is really important and vital in the survival of one's species. Okay. Why? Because variation depends on sexual reproduction. Okay. In asexual reproduction, okay, you're just talking about a single variety. But in sexual reproduction, you're talking about a very broad variety of species. Let's move now to the male reproductive system. What's in the male reproductive system? What are the functions of the male reproductive system? Okay, the male reproductive system performs the following functions. Number 1, secretion of the male sex hormone. Okay, number 1, secretion of the male sex hormone, which is testosterone. Okay, number 2, production of sperm cells. Production of sperm cells. These sperm cells contains again the DNA, okay, the deoxyribonucleic acid, the DNA, and the genes of the paternal, okay, paternal side or the father or the male, okay. Transfer of sperm cells, okay. So these are the few functions. I actually summarized them all with these 3 so that we can actually have an overview or the bigger picture of its function, but it has a lot of functions, right? The male gonads, which is your testes and penile or penis, are the testes hanging in the scrotum, okay? In mammals, sperm reproduction or production requires a slightly lower temperature than the human body. Let me check on the question. Yes, hi, MD. Good morning. I'm glad that you actually attended the class. That is why scrotum hangs loosely outside the body cavity, because sperms needs a cooler, okay, it needs a lower temperature. Remember that our body temp is 37 to 37.5. That's the normal body temperature. Above it, it's a little bit higher, okay? But because sperm needs a lower temp in order to survive, in order to be created, in order to reproduce itself, in order to produce more, okay, it is actually hangs in the scrotum loosely. That's the reason behind. It is outside the body cavity. What if it is inside the body cavity? Again, remember that our normal body temperature is 37 to 37.5. Okay, it will just eventually kill all the sperms created. Ideally, during the 7th and 8th month of fetal development, okay, the testes of the fetus descend into the scrotum. However, when testes fail to descend, it leads to sterility. Okay, because the inhibiting effect of normal body temperature on sperm development. Okay, so if it is actually not, or if it will not descend, okay, tendency is it will lead to sterility. Why? Because again, the normal body temperature is from 37 to 37.5. Okay, so it's a little bit higher in order for the sperm to create, or in order for the sperm to inhibit itself, okay, to develop itself. So if you're going to look at the male reproductive system, this is your testis, okay, the penile or the penis. Testis is where sperms are created, okay. Sperms are created through the cells called spermatogonia, okay. The process of creating sperm is called spermatogenesis, okay. Once the testis is created here, okay, it inhibits here. The mature, take note, the mature sperm will just transfer to the epididymis, this one. And of course, will pass through the vas deferens, this one. Okay? Sure. Upon checking here, sure, the urinary system and the reproductive system of male is actually combined or working hand in hand. Correct. Okay? If you're going to look at it, it is a combination of the male reproductive system and the urinary system. So there are a lot of mechanisms, there are a lot of adjustments, there are a lot of protective mechanisms that the male reproductive system is actually doing. That is why I'm telling you a while ago that the three functions are just the summary of what male reproductive system is all about. But there are a lot of functions evolving in the male reproductive system. Okay. Seminal vesicle, right? And of course, all of these. Okay. Urethral opening, urethra. Okay. It is the passage of urine from the urinary bladder. This one. Are you still with me? Are you still with me, grade 10? All right, let's move forward. The testis has compartments, okay, that contain tightly coiled tubes, okay, called the seminiferous tubules, okay. What is the importance of the seminiferous tubules is that this is an area where sperms are actually created. This is the area where sperms inhibits itself, okay. Their combined length may reach to 250 meters. Sperms develop from the cells that line in the seminiferous tubules. These sperms, again, is cells again is called spermatogonia. Okay, the spermatogonium, singular, is actually located, or it fixes itself in the seminiferous tubules. Okay, the premature cells or sperm cells are then transported to the epididymis to develop. Okay, the area, again, the area for sperm development is in the epididymis. Okay, when the male is sexually aroused, sperm cells begin their journey to the vas deferens. Okay, the small tube from the epididymis. Okay, and then exiting through the urethra, the sperm collect fluid along the way. Okay, because again, these sperms needs to swim, and without these fluids, it cannot actually go along its way. Okay, three gonads or glands contributes to the fluid traveling the sperm. Okay, or once this sperm travels, it actually collects fluids. So there are three glands that contribute to the fluid or contribute fluid to the traveling sperm. First one is the seminal vesicle, okay, which secretes a thick fluid that contains nutrients. Okay. The second one is the prostate gland. Okay. The prostate gland secretes a thick milky alkaline fluid to counteract acid or acidic vagina and the urethra and activate the sperm. Remember that this sperm is very sensitive with the acidity or acidic environment. They will just die once they actually attach themselves in an acidic environment. That's the reason behind. So because of this acidic environment that they pass on, okay, prostrate glands or prostate gland secretes a thick milky alkaline fluid to counteract acidity. Okay, antacid, anti-acid. Okay, or the acidic vagina and urethra, and of course activate the sperms. It activates the sperms now to swim. The third one is the Bulborethral gland or Cooper's gland, which produces lubricating effects. It needs to be lubricated. Why? Because it needs to swim. Altogether, the sperm and the fluids make up is semen. Okay, during the male's arousal, spongy and erectile tissue in the penis are filled with blood, causing the penis or penile to become hard, erect, and enlarged. Okay, when sexual arousal reaches its peak, okay, the semen is expelled during ejaculation process, passing the semen. However, take note, the nervous control prevents the urine from mixing with the semen during ejaculation. Another function. So again, because the urinary system and the reproductive system of male is actually combined, okay, there is a mechanism that prevents urine from mixing in the semen. There is another, yes, MD? What hole? However, again, nervous control prevents urine from mixing with the semen during ejaculation. Again, what's with this, sir? Okay, talking about male reproductive system, again, it is a combination of urinary system and male reproductive system. Okay, because of this, there should be a mechanism to prevent urine from mixing with the sperm. Otherwise, the sperm will be contaminated with acidic urine and of course bacteria that carries out with the urine. Okay. No. There is no separate hole, the same. Okay. It will all pass in the urethra. But then again, what prevents it from mixing is the what? The nervous system, which controls. Okay. It controls now the passing of urine and the passing of semen during ejaculation. So once there is ejaculation, tendency is the urinary system will what? Will pause for a while. Okay. Before, again, take note, before ejaculation, there is a term called pre-ejaculation stage. The pre-ejaculation stage will actually clean, okay, some debris of urine in the urethra before the semen will actually pass on or pass through. What else? Do you have any questions so far? Questions so far? Okay. The penis is an external sex organ that allows the transfer of semen in the vagina of the female. Okay. This is really an important organ simply because without this, the generation will not continue. Otherwise, we have artificial insemination. Okay. Because of the rising of technology, we have a lot of studies concerning to how can we reproduce ourselves. Okay, how can we actually have a reproduction without sexual activity? Okay, have you heard about test tube babies, artificial insemination? Okay, what else? How about surrogate motherhood? Okay, those are just few. Okay, result of the rising of technology. Because of this technological advancement, we can actually procreate an organism outside the womb. That's how powerful now technology. Okay, that's under genetic engineering. Testosterone, the male sex hormone. So what are the effects of this testosterone? Why do you think to consider? Why do we need to consider testosterone? And how this testosterone affect the male and female reproductive system? Male and female. You're talking about testosterone is in the female, sir? Yes, correct. Let's take a look at it later. Testosterone is the main sex hormone secreted by the testes. Okay. It is responsible for the normal development of the organs, the male reproductive system. It is also necessary for the maturation of sperm cells with the help of another hormone. Okay, the follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH. Okay, testosterone brings about the changes experienced during puberty. Okay, the primary sex characteristic and the secondary sex characteristics. Okay, testosterone is one of the main sex hormone that is involved in those changes. Okay, secondary and the primary sex characteristics. These changes that appear at 10 to 14 years of age eventually distinguish a male from female and are called the secondary sex characteristics. What are these secondary sex characteristics? We have, in males, it includes the growth of the facial hair, okay, underarm, chest, pubic, and body hair, okay, enlargement in the voice box. This is because of the rising of the volume of what? Testosterone. Deepening of the voice, development of male musculature, and increased secretion of sweat and oil. Okay, testosterone is responsible for males' muscular strength. Okay, this is the reason behind why male has a masculine build. Okay, why male has a well-developed muscles. This is because of the testosterone. Okay, this is why some athletes take steroids that contain testosterone or other similar compounds. Some of the athletes and bodybuilders, they tend to inject steroids which is in testosterone form, in order for them to build a bigger muscle. That's the reason behind. However, okay, taking steroids have been proven to produce harmful effects during including mental problems. Correct, because steroids is not the natural chemical that the body produces. That's the reason. So it is actually an alien. We say alien, foreign to the body. Whatever foreign to the body, it may accept, or the body may accept or reject. Okay? Yes. Transgenders are using steroids. They're using different hormones. Like for example, for lesbians, they're using testosterone. For gay, they're using, or transgender women, we're calling them as transgender women, they're actually using a female hormone, which is okay, let's take a look at it later. Do you have any questions so far? Questions? Questions? All right. Again, in lesbians, they're using testosterone. Okay. In transgender women, they're using estrogen and progesterone in order to build a woman-shaped body. Okay. Let's move forward. But again, take note that taking the steroids have been proven to produce harmful effects, including mental problems. The sperm. So let's take a look at the bigger picture of the sperm and what are the different parts of the sperm. Okay, a mature sperm has three main parts: the head, the middle piece or neck, and the tail. Actually, I have a specimen of the actual sperm mounted on my slides. It is highly microscopic. Okay, I will try to check on them. Okay, I will try to check on them and have it uploaded in my wall if in case. Okay, I will try to check in my microscope if they are still visible. Okay, the tail propels the sperm as it swims in the fluid. The middle piece contains, or the mid piece or the middle piece contains mitochondria that provide the sperm with energy during the journey to the female body. Remember that the powerhouse of the cell, again, if you're going to look at cytology, the powerhouse of the cell is mitochondria or mitochondrion, singular. Okay, this actually gives energy, okay, to the sperm to swim, okay, in the form of adenosine triphosphate or ATP. Okay, during its journey to the female body. The head of the sperm contains enzymes that break the hyaluronic acid, okay, of the egg's membrane. Okay, the head of the sperm houses the genetic material that will eventually unite the egg's nucleus during fertilization. So what really happened here? Okay, once there is an egg, okay, a mature egg, okay, during ovulation, you're actually female is actually creating a mature egg. Okay, the egg there is just waiting for the sperm to fertilize. Okay, what happens next? Once the egg or the sperm reaches the egg, it will actually break the hyaluronic acid that actually covers the membrane of the egg and penetrate to the egg. What happened next? Sure. Okay, the tail now will just detach to itself. Detaching the tail means that it should actually what? The head should actually penetrate on the egg, not the tail, because the tail contains, again, mitochondria, and mitochondria contains DNA. Mitochondrial DNA. So meaning to say, it needs to be detached. Okay? What should be inside the egg is the actual, okay, again, actual sperm genes, or the genes from the paternal or father. Okay, let's move forward. Do you have any questions so far? Question? Are you still with me? Grade 10? All right. Now, if you're going to look at the actual sperm, okay, it looks like this one. But in the microscope, it's different, okay? Because they are stained under the microscope. Why stained? Sure. What do you mean by staining? Okay, we need to put a dye, to put a stain on them, because they are what? Highly transparent. We cannot actually see them if they are not stained. Okay, they are highly transparent. So this is the head, which contains the DNA, okay, which contains the paternal DNA in haploid, meaning to say half of the total number of chromosomes. Okay, if we have 46, if human has 46 chromosomes, okay, this contains 23 of the chromosome in the paternal side. Midpiece, which contains the mitochondria and the tail to propel the sperm in swimming. You're lucky enough because this is a race of a million, billion, okay, million to billion sperms. Okay, and you are one of the luckiest person that actually penetrates in the egg and develop. That's how humans are actually formed. The sperm challenge. So this is what I'm telling you a while ago. Okay, when a man or when a man ejaculates, about 200 to 500 million sperms. That's a normal. Okay, that's normal number. 200 to 500 million sperms are in the semen, but only less than 1% of them make it to the egg. Why? Okay. Why are sperms released in millions when only one sperm and one egg can be or would complete the fertilization? What do you think so? Releasing them in millions increases sperm chance to find the egg. Remember that the journey is quite long. It is quite long from the vaginal opening going to the ovary, going to fallopian tube. It's quite long. Some of them eventually die. Okay? There are a lot of cases that these sperms eventually die. Okay? The sperms face a lot of obstacles to reach the egg due to the following reasons. But these are the reasons why sperms cannot actually continue the race. Okay? This is a race again for millions and billions. Millions already die in the vagina due to its acidic environment. Remember that these sperms are really sensitive to its acidic environment or acidity or acidic environment. Okay, once they reach a surface that is highly acidic, tendency is they eventually die. Okay. Number two, some sperms lose energy to continue the journey, meaning to say that the mitochondria loses its energy. There is no more energy. So they eventually stop in the middle and just eliminated. Okay. Some sperms go to the oviduct or fallopian tube that does not contain the egg. Some of them travels in the wrong direction. Remember that you have two fallopian tubes. And only one, okay? Only one ovary is actually developed there. Only one egg is being created. Okay? Some sperms are blocked in the mucous covering of the cervix. In the cervix alone, there are a lot of mucus there. Okay? This is to protect the mucosa. This is to protect the cervix. Okay? The mucosal lining there protects the cervix against foreign bodies or against bacterial infection. Okay. The next is abnormal sperm resulting from its mass production are unable to fertilize the egg. Okay. Because of this massive production, tendency is some of them has or the body created an abnormal sperm which cannot actually swim. And if it fertilizes the egg, it can actually create a what? Some deficiency if in case. But again, good thing this is a race of 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,000. And this is the survival of the fittest. The stronger or the strongest rather, because this is a race, this is an amazing race. The strongest, again, penetrate the egg and develop into a zygote. The rest are eliminated. That's how nature works. And we need to adapt. Okay. Again, we had discussed a lot, right, for today. And hopefully you learned something out of our simple discussion. Do you have any questions so far? Questions? I will entertain questions with regards to the male reproductive system. Supposed to be, if this is face-to-face, I can actually give you a lot of activities and a lot of laboratories. Okay? And hopefully by next meeting, I can actually let you see the actual sperm under the microscope. I will just place it here in the I will just use the zoom as a medium in order for you to see the actual specimen under the microscope. I'll mount my slides by next meeting, hopefully. Right? Questions? None? All right? Again, we had discussed a lot. We had just discussed the male reproductive system. By next meeting, hopefully we can discuss the female reproductive system, the sexually transmitted diseases associated with the reproductive system. How can we prevent this one? And what are the possible cure for this, right? If you have question, you can always ask in the GC, or you can just give me a message or a personal message via Facebook or Messenger. Okay? I think that will do for today, class. Thank you for your participation. I am happy to see you, Dimitri, Milden, and Margie. Even though you are always disconnecting, I really understand. This is the reason behind why I need to upload this one immediately in the LMS so that you can actually review. Okay, again, this is included in your major exam. Your major exam is fast approaching. Just wait for the announcement. We have the third mastery test and third periodical test fast approaching. Okay, please inform also your other classmates, those offline students, that I already collected some of the modules. Again, these modules are, I had just limit the activities there in order for you to cope up, in order for us to cope up. Remember, this is good for 1 month, right? This is good for 1 month. If you're going to look at it, it's from weeks 1 to 4. Okay. I think it's a good start for us, and hopefully we can have a meaningful learning experience, even though we have this scenario. Okay. Just let me know how can I assist you, and hopefully we can actually bring up have a progressive output for this school year, right? I think that will be all for today, class. Have a nice day, grade 10. Take care. Bye-bye.